TV accident happened in Hallmark?
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
Very sad. Very sad.
No one died.
Oh.
How old were they?
I don't know. It's one of my boyfriend's friends.
Kim, did you say your kids were sick?
Yes, my son has an ear infection and pink eye all at the same time. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Attention all staff. Please stay in your office. Everything is all right.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. Oh my god. The second plane just hit the tower.
Oh my god. Did you see that, guys?
Oh my god.
What do we do?
Oh my god.
They want us to stay. They want us to stay in our office?
While this is going on?
Oh my god! Somebody just jumped from the building.
What?
Oh my god.
No, we better get out of here now.
We have to go. Is it working? Oh my gosh, you guys. We're having to take this here. We don't have time to wait. Let's go. Out. Anything. Guys. Oh my gosh.
He said, I'm gonna buy this place and burn it down. I'm gonna put it 6 feet underground. He said, I'm gonna buy this place and watch it fall. Stand here beside me, baby, in the crumbling walls. Oh, I'm gonna buy this place and start a fire. Stand here until I fill all your heart's desires. Because I'm gonna buy this place and see it burn, and do back the things it did to you in return. Said I'm gonna buy a gun and start a war. If you can tell me something worth fighting for. Oh, and I'm gonna buy this place is what I say.
Just have a seat and the doctor can with you just a moment.
I really don't want to be here today, but maybe if it's going to help my marriage and help me get through this difficult time, then I'll just stay here and do it. Well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm the reason this is going on, and I'm having these horrible thoughts is because I didn't save anybody. I didn't help the situation.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. So I'm a mother of two, of a boy and a girl, and I'm also married. I'm an accountant in a small office. I don't really get out of the house much. It's just go to work and come home.
Okay. So, what are some things that led you here today?
So I'm having night terrors.
Okay.
I'm not able to sleep. I find myself just waking up out of the blue and just thoughts just all over the place. Sometimes I just have like weird moments where I just freeze during the day. I think the biggest thing is sleep.
Sleep?
Yeah, I think sleep is by far the worst. I'm just drained all the time.
Right. So, is there anything going on in your life that's out of the ordinary that would cause you to lose sleep, or has insomnia been a reoccurring thing in your life?
I wouldn't say very clear, no.
Okay. So, so you're having night terrors. So sometimes with night terrors, it can be indicative of something that happened in your past. So do you have any trauma in your past or any thing that you can think of that would cause you to maybe rehash those feelings again?
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about that?
9/11.
Okay. Very sad day for the whole country, the
Yes.
world.
I was working as an accountant on the 50th floor when things kind of went downhill from there. Other than that, I mean,
Do you remember it, or is it a little fuzzy in some parts?
some parts were fuzzy. I remember it was like, felt like an earthquake kind of hit. It just, things shook.
Mm-hmm.
And then we heard the gentleman come over the intercom and told for everybody, just stay in your seats, don't move, everything is fine. So at that time, I had just kind of like looked out the window, and I saw the building on fire, and then I saw someone jump out the window.
So that must have been really hard to witness. Yes. So, do you have any triggers from this event? Can you not like go on an airplane anymore, or?
I think the biggest thing is the smell of fire.
Okay.
Burning, yes. And I think it's also the hearing someone scream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard someone scream when they're really afraid.
Helpless. Yes. Okay. So it seems like to me you have some post-traumatic stress disorder, and I want you to know that you're not alone. There are thousands of people, probably even millions, that are in your shoes. Some people come in to see me because they come back from war. Some people come to see me because they're victims of rape. It runs the gamut. But just know that what you're feeling is real, and you are validated. But it seems like to me you said that your sleeping is the hardest thing for you right now, correct?
Yes.
And you have some anxiety. Okay, so today I'm going to start you on a low dose of trazodone. It's an antidepressant, and it also helps you fall asleep. I'm going to start you off at the smallest dose, and then if that's not enough, we'll increase your dosage. But for right now, I want you to start at a 15 milligram tablet, and I want you to half that.
Okay.
And then if it's not helping, you should get a full 8 hours of sleep. And if it's not helping, then increase to the whole full tab.
Will I wake up drowsy from it in the mornings?
You will wake up drowsy, so that's why we want to start at a little dose and have your body gain a little bit tolerance to it. Not too much, because it can be addictive, so make sure you keep the low dose.
Okay.
So we don't want you driving or anything where you're taking it strictly for you to sleep well. and it's going to cause dry mouth. So make sure you're drinking your water, making sure your mouth is nice and moist. And so with antidepressants, because it is an antidepressant med, you want to remember that sometimes they take a little longer to work to the full effect. Sometimes it's 6 weeks. So during those 6 weeks, if you feel helpless, hopeless, if you feel like, committed suicide, I need you to contact me as soon as possible. Okay? And I'm also going to prescribe you Klonopin. So Klonopin is the benzodiazepine that will help you with your anxiety.
Okay.
So I know you're an accountant, so you need to maintain, composure. And so I think this will help you get through the day. But you should only take it about 2 or 3 times a week, because you can really gain tolerance to where it doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
So we're going to start in a really low dose of that, and you can only go up to 1 milligram 2 or 3 times a week. Okay? So whenever you're feeling anxious, you're going to take that, especially in the morning. Sometimes it's worse in the morning when you're with your anxiety, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to take that in the morning and see how you're feeling. It can cause you to be drowsy at first as well, and very sleepy. So that's why I'm going to have you on the lowest dose. And then on the 3rd day, you're going to have the full dose. Okay, so what is your pharmacy that I can contact?
We can just use Publix.
Publix? Okay. Alright. So with PTSD, there's no actual cure for the actual illness. Okay? So we're going to be curing the symptoms, or treating the symptoms. So we're going to target your anxiety, your sleep, and we're going to help you work through those traumatic events in group therapy. So it's called psychotherapy. So I have a counselor that's going to work with you if that's something that you want to do.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay, so it's twice a week.
Okay.
You're going to be around other people just like you, and you're going to be discussing ways to cope with your week and discussing ways to cope with your triggers. Okay? And I'm going to be meeting with your counselor from time to time, trying to get her feel on what she thinks best for you, okay? Alright, so I want you to call me.
Okay.
I think that was a good visit. Do you have any other questions for me?
How long do you think before the depression will actually?
So depression is a different kind of thing. So with depression, if you have like a bad day at work, it can get worse, or whatever it may be. But the trazodone should start working little by little and be at full effect around 6 weeks. But it's really going to help with your sleeping, which when you don't sleep enough, you're fatigued and you're depressed.
So does the PTSD that you're stating leads from triggers to depression to other different things? Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
And if you have any other questions about it, I'm going to give you some info. I'll have the receptionist give you some information about it. You're not the only one that goes through this, okay? And we're going to try to help you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. It was nice to meet you.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? Good. How's your week been? Good. It's been good. You okay? Okay, so we all met last week, and let's go ahead and go around the room and discuss what brought you here, just kind of get reacquainted, and then we'll go over the work that we did. Okay, go ahead.
So my experience was referred to Irma. I'm creating villain narrations in the
Okay. I did look at that this week.
So I'm Kimberly. I'm suffering from PTSD since 9/11. It's been pretty rough the last week. Kind of tough with the night terrors, but hopefully I'll get better.
And my trauma was from a car crash. I was actually driving, and my brother was in the passenger seat when I fell asleep and ran into the guardrail, and he actually died in the accident.
Do you have any success in driving this week?
Not yet.
Keep working on that. Okay, last week Everybody's been really having a hard time with nightmares and not being able to sleep at night. So last week I asked you guys to identify what is happening in your dreams that is causing you turmoil. So I want to go around and everybody just, I'll ask you a couple questions and then you can tell me what you came up with. Okay. So Courtney, can you identify the worst part of your nightmare? What's waking you up?
So when it starts to rain, both of which is coming in really heavily, and that's
So like you're gonna drown. Do you have trouble in the showers or taking a bath or anything?
yeah, kind of.
What are you feeling during your sleep? Like when you wake up, what's your first emotion that you feel?
Panic,
Anxiety,
sweating.
scared. How would you, if you could change your dream in any way, how would you like it to go?
To be able to sit on the porch and watch it rain and not bother me. Not real scared. Or to not have nightmares is that they are.
Right. Have you been to a doctor at all to see about getting some medication?
But I'm not
I have some information for you after class. I'm prepared for a session today. So that's how your story would need to change. I would like for you to visualize before you go to sleep it raining, you sitting on the porch, and everything going nice and smoothly. So try to focus on that this week, and let's see if that can help you. Okay? Kim, how did you do? What was the worst part of your nightmare?
Mine would be seeing the person jump out of the window. I wake up crying, and it seems like every night it never changes. It's just the same cycle.
So that's what wakes you up, is seeing him, or whoever, boss. Okay. So what are you feeling whenever you wake up?
I'm not sure if it's a mixture between sadness and fear. I think it's kind of both. Because I kind of feel like that could have been me. So I think that's where that should.
So are you afraid of being stuck in a building to the point that you would have to make that decision, or okay. So you have trouble going into tall buildings? So how would you like to change your story?
I would like to be able to be in a high building. Maybe instead of looking out the window and seeing something horrible, maybe just watching snowflakes or anything.
Okay.
Maybe it's just raining or just something that's puts you at peace.
Okay. So like we did with Courtney, before you go to sleep, try to visualize what you're wanting to see in your dream, and let's see if that can help you. And how about you?
The worst part of my dream?
Yes.
So, in my dreams, I'm getting into a car, and similar to the trauma itself, I'm getting in the car, and I'm going forward, and I just continuously fall asleep, and I fall asleep, and there's normally like a semi that comes towards me, slowly comes towards me, and I can see it coming toward me, and that's normally when I wake up, and I'm crying, I'm panicked. It's an awful feeling.
Is your brother with you in the car? Do you see him at all?
Yeah. He's there.
Savannah, how would you like to see your story change?
I'd like to be in control of when I'm driving. I'd like to be able to get into a car at all anymore and feel comfortable. I really want to be in control of my life again.
With you, I'd like to try something a little bit different. Instead of the visualization, I want you. Are you able to ride in a car at all?
Not yet. That's something that I'm working towards. You know, being able to get into a car with a family member or a close friend or something like that. That's something that I'm trying to work on.
Okay. I want to try some exposure therapy. So what I would like for you to do is try to take very short trips with, who you live with?
I live with my mom.
Okay. So ask your mom to just take you on a quick drive to the end of the road. And then go a little bit further around the block. And just each time you expose yourself to a vehicle and have a safe experience, that's going to help you to replace those bad memories with safe memories and safe experiences. Okay? So let's try that with you this week, and then report back to you next week and see how it goes.
Sounds good.
Okay? And really, both of you guys could do that as well. You know, if it rains, go outside, have a seat on the porch where you want to be, and just experience good memories with rain and water. Okay? And then you try and go up into a taller building, go up the elevator, come right back down. And then a very long amount of time, just start desensitizing yourself to those traumatic experiences. Okay? Okay, and then do you guys ever try any breathing techniques, or what they're called grounding techniques? Okay, so when you get stressed out or you find yourself in that experience that is causing you trauma, I want you guys to start out by taking a couple of deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth. Do 4 cycles of that. And then I want you to try to bring, or do any of you guys have like a smell that you have a good memory? Mine is my mom's perfume. Her perfume just brings really happy memories to me. So if I'm having a hard time, I can spray her perfume on a tissue and then just carry that around with me. And when I need to come back to reality, then I smell that and it brings me right back to where I need to be.
You're safe.
Yes, it's a safe feeling for me. So I want you guys to find something that can bring you back to reality when you find yourself drifting off back to your traumatic experience. Do you guys ever use anything like that? Okay. And then lastly, what I want you to do is come up with a statement. It's called a grounding statement. And that is something to the effect of just being able to say, it is 2019, I am safe. The trauma that happened to me is a long time ago. And it's just basically reassuring your brain, and you're trying to retrain your brain to come back and be present right now and know that you're safe. And start talking down that fight or flight that your body's naturally going to want to do. Okay? What else has been going on this week? Anything that you guys need help with or want to talk about? Okay, well, we'll get together next week, and if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to call. Okay.
I can't smell jet fuel without having triggers that go back to 9/11.
I had nightmares almost immediately afterwards. Fast forward 15 years and I'm still suffering greatly.
I was horrifically injured when 8,000 pounds of steel crushed my left foot. But the injury, while devastating, doesn't compare to the mental illnesses that I suffered. I'm a 9/11 responder.
I was heading into work to World Trade Center on the 74th floor.
I was on the 29th floor of Tower 1 at the time of the attack. One of the most common misconceptions about PTSD is what it's about for each individual. No one wants to hear that they have to get over it or move past it because it simply is not possible.
It is important to talk about it. One of the misconceptions, I think, is that this isn't real, and it's very real. And it can be debilitating, paralyzing, and life-shattering.
In the last 16 years, there hasn't been a day that has gone by where I have not thought something related to that horrible day.
It's okay to embrace these illnesses. When you embrace something, you don't allow that to feed off your fear. If you need help with your post-traumatic, I implore you to go see a doctor because it changed my life.
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, or working on some stage in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor, or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who lost their dear loved ones, pray for the ones who don't know? Did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble and sob for the ones left below?